Welcome back to Ed in this corner, bringing you another episode of Unanimous Decision. And today, who we talking to, Bill?
Hey, you heard me say Unanimous Decisions. That's our exclusive interview series. And today we got a good one. Man, this iconic actor has been in everything from Moesha, Welcome Back Kotter, Claudine, Cooley High. Hey, one of my favorite shows, The Jacksons' American Dream. We have today none other than Lawrence Hilton Jacobs.
All right, I want a good, clean fight. Let's get it on.
All right. Hey. We're back. We're back. Here we got Mr. Lawrence Hilton Jacobs. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. I mean, that's my real name too. It's no fake. That's real good.
Real deal. First off, we want to welcome you and thank you for blessing our channel here and in this corner. My brother Barry and I, we are big movie buffs, and you have been in one of our most iconic biopics of all time. But we'll get to that a little later. But thank you so much, and we definitely want to give you your flowers right now.
I appreciate
Bill, just because we got a chance to talk earlier, and I know I'd be remiss if I didn't compliment him on his appearance. He looks just like we pulled him out of like 1974 when he first started. So I asked him his skincare routine, and what did you share, Mr. Jacobs?
You got to get a can of Spam. You got to take all the butter off the top. You got to put it on yourself. You ain't got no friends going to be smelling funny, man. But you know, it's your skin. That's the key.
Okay.
Spam juice.
All right. So we ready to step in this ring, hit these 12 rounds, sir?
There we go, man. I'm ready. I can rope a dope.
All right, rope a dope. Let's get it. All right. So you are born and raised in New York City, one of the meccas, as we can say. You started your acting career as a teenager, correct?
I was 15. I'm 70 now. I'm about to be 71 in about a month, man. Get ready for that.
Okay.
But I got with a management company, which didn't do anything, but it got me into the mix of it, and I started doing children's theater and whatever I could find. Back in those days when I was growing up in New York City, they had a paper that came out every week on Wednesdays and Thursdays called Backstage and Show Business, and they would advertise gigs, whether it be a short film or a industrial film or whatever. So I was auditioning for everything.
Okay.
And so it started bumping up from there. But I've been doing it for a long time. I'm into my 56 years now. That's a lifetime.
Yeah. So even in IMDb does you a disservice because we clocked you at 50, but like you said, you were putting in work prior to the actual first credit that it shows on there. So more than 50 years of work. That's older than some of the people that watch your most of the people that watch your content.
You know what happens with IMDb and things like that? They clock the achievements. They see what you've done in film or television.
Yeah.
They're not into your feed or background.
Yeah, the WGA stuff. They try to
all that kind of
and sometimes they're inaccurate too, because I know I know there's
all the time.
Yeah,
all the time.
There's one movie that you're actually in, Death Wish, that it put Denzel in there as well as for his first acting role.
Denzel is in that movie.
He came out and said that wasn't him. Now when I look, that has to be Denzel.
Cage Denzel. Here we go. Denzel's my boy, but Denzel's in the movie, but you have to really stop it to see him. A lot of us, we're all young guys. I mean, Denzel's just a year younger than I, and at the time when we did, I was 20, so I think Denzel was 19, and we just went up and knocked those things out. It was shot so fast and so cold.
Yeah, I seen the clip.
It is Denzel. He needs to stop.
He probably just humble beginnings. He may be just a little.
You do what you do. You keep it moving. He stepped up okay.
Because I seen that clip in it when he came out and rebuffed it. I was like, I don't know. It's a spitting image. But I do want to bring up your first, the 1970 role, 1974 role. Most actors have to do a Hollywood shuffle dance to get some of their first roles in Hollywood. And with you out the gate, I believe you came out swinging. So I want to mention the Charles role from 1974's Claudine, James Earl Jones. Diane Carroll, she was nominated for an Oscar award for that one. What was your experience like working with those heavyweights?
I mean, it was amazing. I was 19 when I got the role and turned 20 during the movie. And we went through a lot of changes to that because originally it was written for Diana Sands, who's just a brilliant, unreal actress. And it was part of a thing called Third World Cinema, which we were going to do a lot of urban films. The only thing that came out of Third World was Claudine and Grease Lightning, Richard Pryor's movie. But anyway, we were going to, get into all those kind of factors. But working with James Earl Jones and Diane Carroll was mind-boggling. I mean, I've seen them. I used to see James Earl Jones on an old show called East Side, West Side, and like, wow, who's that brother? And
Yeah.
Mhm.
because I was a kid in New York, whenever they would have all the posters up in the area where they have all the theater and stuff like that, I would go down there, and me and my boy Dwayne Overstreet is my lifelong friend. I go over there and look at the poster. Oh wow, James Jones. Oh man, it's Yaphet Kotto. It's Brock Peter. I was tripping hard, man.
Yeah.
But working with them was great. They're gracious people. I stay close to Diane until, she moved on. She still thought I was her son to the end. I mean, she's
Mm.
funny because Diane would call me up sometimes and, she'd always call me hun. She says, hey, hun, so what you doing? I said, I'm okay. What's going on with you? Oh, I'm just here at my house and taking a milk bath. I said, okay, you want to go to lunch? When I take her to lunch, but when I would take her to lunch, then I got to take it to the dry cleaners and all this stuff that the son has to do and drop her off at
Mhm.
and wait for her. And I did it
Mm.
all the time. Yeah. So it
That
was
is so amazing. We watch these characters on TV, and sometimes they get typecast in my mind because I was introduced to her as the Whitley's mom. So I'm always just
Different
picturing
world.
her as
Yeah.
this the
yeah.
mean mother-in-law.
Oh,
But to
yeah.
hear how she
Yeah.
was so motherly to you, that just is a testament to her character. That's beautiful.
Hmm.
Those people just to get on it, people like James Earl Jones and Diane Carroll, they just had long legacies before I even tried to be in the mix. They were in
Yeah,
it 25 years before I even thought about trying to get up in there.
yeah.
But
Wow.
they were so gracious people to the end. Even when I talk to James now, it's been about a couple of years when I talked to him last, but he was doing a play on Broadway in New York, and I didn't get to see the play, but I was in New York visiting. So I went backstage just to say hi to him when it was over. And the minute he saw me, he says, hey, man, Larry, get in here. And for 45 minutes, just James and I chilled out talking smack
That's
and
beautiful.
Wow.
laughing, just being boys, man. Nice,
Mm,
good brother, man. Good guy.
yeah,
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And then you're talking about an icon, a legend in the game.
Big time.
Um, a
Yeah.
lot of paths, opened a lot of doors for a lot of actors and actresses, especially people of color. So, I mean, to have someone like that in your as a friend, that's crazy. That's
It all
impeccable.
happens. I mean, I guess because I'm an elder now, I get that right.
Yeah.
They say, paved the way. And I said, it's not so much you paved the way. We were around at the time. When I was coming
Mhm.
into the game as a teenager, the people who were on the way up, were very gracious. The Morgan Freemans
mm,
the Yaphet Kotos. I remember a friend of mine, this producer Bill, Wayne Henderson brought Yaphet Kotto to my house.
Mhm.
And I was like, I couldn't believe it. And I was trying to be chilled out, and he was just sitting down there, was a nice guy, and he said, would you like something? No, you got any juice? I said, well, I have some Welch's grape juice. Oh, I'll like that. So I gave him the juice and I said, Yaphet, you mind if I be silly right now? He said, go ahead. I said, I can't believe you're in my effing house. Oh man. Oh,
starstruck.
that's man. And he laughed all the way, man. Good brother.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So I know for me, one of the very, very first times that I, saw you on my TV screen was the Jackson's American Dream.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, Again, I would say that's one of my favorite biopics of all time. Barry and I, we did a whole show about biopics, and American Dream was on both of our lists.
Right on.
Um, and you landed the role, Joe Jackson. Um, two scenes come to mind when I think about
I bet you
you.
I know what they are. You're gonna be
Okay,
the
okay.
Michael Marlon, where's the towel?
Who left the towel in the swimming pool?
Yeah.
Michael, Marlon.
I get that all the time,
That
man.
one and
The
the
Kiki.
butter pecan.
Yeah.
Both of those scenes are iconic
I
for
don't
me.
want you. I don't.
Yeah,
How
man,
did
in
you?
that scene, Angela beat me up for
Yeah.
real, man. I don't know if she was having like some psychological flashback because I had to hold her,
Yeah.
because she's strong, and at
Yeah.
one and she like took her hands and it went across my chest, and I had to give her a bang on the wall and bring her back to consciousness, man. We did 14 takes of that. So every time we
Wow.
did a take, I just went in another room and I said, Larry, chill out. It's a movie. You like her.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
go back. We were just so in the zone, man.
And,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
oh, go ahead.
How did you happen to land that role?
Well, I mean, everybody auditioned. It was a real involving audition process, including Angela. I had not known Angela at the time, but I saw her at the auditions. But everybody and their mother was up for that. Vanessa Bell Calloway, Casey Lemons, Stephen Williams, Eric LaSalle, Dorian Hayward. They had everybody up, and everybody was slamming it because we could hear them in the next room doing their auditions. And they went on the
Mhm.
audition process was nuts because we did it 3-4 hours, and we were all there. You'd be like 50 of us out there, 30 of us, and so you never know why they make a definitive decision on picking somebody because the audition process was supposed to be 3 times. They brought me back 7 times. Angela was cast 6 weeks before they cast me, and they still was tripping on who's going to play Joe. And when I went in the last time, 'cause I got called out of nowhere to come in to see them, I said, I was just thinking, well, what could I do different on here? I got to do this again. So when I even remember when the other actors were, being Joe and being boisterous. When I got into the room the last time and they said action, it was a chair there. I just took the chair and kicked it and threw it against the wall. And I started punching this bookcase. They probably thought it was nuts, as I did. I was being, and they said, oh, okay. So but I mean, it was a process, you audition and they had a lot of wonderful choices and many of them are friends and they still are.
Mhm.
And it's a tough thing, a very known iconic family like that, which is music royalty. I knew
Yes.
them personally. I still know them,
Oh,
so
wow.
that yeah,
They
I
were
knew them.
heavily involved in the production. I mean, Suzanne DePasse was the producer.
Yeah. Suzanne DePass, who came up through the Motown history. Yeah, as a secretary, then became a great executive with Berry Gordy and was very instrumental in developing the Jackson Five, and they were called the Jackson Five. So it was a lot of personal integrity and the personal flavoring into it. And so they were extra who's going to play the part. Realistically, I don't look like Joe because Joe is, about 4 or 5 inches shorter than me, light skin with green eyes. I have light eyes, but not green. But they were the flavoring of who the guy was. And we could look like a family. And till this day, when I see any of the guys, if I see Marlon and all that, we're like brothers, man. It's instant.
Wow.
That's it's always been that way with us. Yeah, so it's pretty nice. Nice role to have. Wonderful, involving role, multi-layered. I played him from 20 to 54, and I was 38 at the time. So that was when they said they want me to play 20, I was like, all right, I'm tripping a little bit, man. I don't know about that, but let's just not say it. So we just went for it. So it was cool.
Yeah, and like you said, layered, three-dimensional. It was so easy to kind of be one note with that character, but I felt like like he was a sympathetic. You made him a sympathetic character.
Let me tell you how I did that to add on to what you're saying, because they did write him very much one-dimensional.
Yeah. Okay.
It's nuts. I said he made these 9 babies. That took a lot of love to do that.
Yeah.
And took some. So whatever scenes we went through, the different periods of time, I would write on the top of the script what my kids meant to me and how I love them, so I could find some flavoring. There's even a scene with myself and Jason Weaver where he's in the Apollo Theater and he's, gawking at the screen and he's just all excited. This was written, but I asked the director, who's Karen Arthur Gray, and I said, let me just come in there with him and I'm gonna put my arms around him and we're just gonna both be in his glory. And it gave up a little bit of a sweetness.
One day I'm gonna have them patent leather shoes like James Brown. I know it's
oh man, you know the drill.
Yeah.
We love that movie.
Find your moments as an actor, and in my studying of it from my days of the Negro Ensemble Company and the Alpha theatrical ensembles, you got to find multi-layers. I call it the dynamic roller coaster to make a role a little more present, and a little more variety.
You're getting a master class here, guys. For those folks in the audience, I want to bring up 56 years. You brought it up. 56 years of acting credits.
Wonderful.
And like I mentioned, that's older than a lot of the folks that watch your content. So that's amazing. Are there any dream roles that you haven't tackled yet that you would like to?
Dream roles. I have a dream thing that I'd like to do. Somebody asked me that. I've been working on a film we just finished last night. And I was talking with a lot of the young actors, and they said, is there any dream role? I said, I played a lot of variety of roles. I mean, I played from a heroin addict to, a crazy dad to a docile dude, or even a nerd. So, I said, but I had not seen, this is a friend, I'm gonna tell you who's in a second, but I had a friend who's an actor who I had not seen for 20 years. And then I ran into him at a restaurant one day, and when we saw each other, it was the long lost brothers, and we were, hugging, this and that. And we looked at each other, and we didn't say it, but I thought we should work together. That guy was Denzel Washington, and he happened to be hanging out with Ryan Coogler, who was just about to come out with Black Panther. So that's when that was, about 3 years ago. And so I would love to work with Denzel only because we're both nuts. We both hung out. We used to be in the club chasing the days. We was all about it. And, I mean, let me tell you who the crew used to be. It used to be Denzel, Eddie Murphy, Keenan Wayans, Robert Townsend, David Allen. Huh?
All of us call it the Black Pack. Yeah.
That was like, the snack pack.
Yeah.
And we would all hang out, and that was just the regular.
Yeah.
Sometimes Arsenio Hall would make a guest, appearance, but and TK Carter, another actor, and we were just always the crew, and we were hitting all the clubs, and we was just, a couple of young guys with a couple of bucks, and we liked every girl, no matter what her name was, and even if we could remember it. So there you go, man.
So you're an actor who has performed on the stage, television or TV and movies. What area brings you the greatest joy?
This is not a real preference, but when you do stage, you're doing a play, you have a long time to develop a role. You have to bring it every day, and it's never exactly the same. And that's a nice developing process. Television sometimes can be a little bit quicker because you have to get it. I was doing the show called A House Divided, and we were averaging, 40, 50 pages of dialogue a day, which is like a soap opera. So crazy. Film for me is the key of in terms of the top shelf because it can be more resonant, it can be more intimate. I mean, when you do this in life, but you do this on film, it's like that. So you learn to play it down and you learn to be more honest. And when you lay it down, it's there forever, And so if there's an order of preference, I would say film, television with a discretion,
Okay.
and then theater.
Theater. Okay.
I like it all, but I love film. I like it as an actor. I love it as a director. I've been directing for years now, and I like even just finding those flavors in somebody. This week I have a young guy who I've been mentoring. He's a young actor named Jermaine Martin, and he had an audition, and so I was directing him through it. And I'm not a tyrannical director, but I'm tough. I'm still from the projects. Ain't nothing changed there, And when he was doing something, I said, no, 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 that's bull. I said, be honest. If you're going to talk to somebody, look at them like you're looking at your little daughter you haven't seen or whatnot. Welcome her. Be, because you have a daughter. Think like that. So that's the dynamics of what you can get in film.
Yeah, and speaking of films, I think your face is part of notable content, whether we're bringing up Jackson's an American Dream, Cooley High, and there's a lot of TV credits in there as well. Just to name a few.
They're all on the wall behind me.
Yeah,
And you see it.
And you're running out of room.
Yeah.
So,
office, everything is all in one room here. Yeah.
With that being said, inquiring minds want to know. A lot of your content is in circulation when it comes to syndication. So you're making new fans on a regular every day.
Yeah.
When fans walk up to you, what's usually like, I guess, the top two things they remember you from?
I mean, they remember the films, I mean, like you guys did it to me, Michael Marlin, I get that all the time, I'm an open person. What I've been working on and we'll talk about it later. I was filming a short film with Tyrese Gibson over the weekend, and we have a nice thing. But I would talk to all the background people, and they were surprised, because we were doing the thing that was supposed to be back in the day of the early days of Soul Train. So they had on afro wigs and all of that wild stuff. And I would talk to them, and I know they were all looking at me like, "Oh my God, that's the guy." And I said, "No, you can say hi. I don't like this week." But remember moments. They remember certainly Cooley High, and of the Jackson's American Dream, which is on a lot. They remember certain excerpts out of that. And I'm not so much on trying to talk about my work and what I've done and all that. In terms of tripping, I just go into the moment of what we happened that day, and it can maybe be a lesson to be learned. And if we want to give any points of view, I said, look, you just have to be honest, to yourself. That's where you start from. That's as a person, but as an actor, because we know our limitations and we know when we're full of it. Let's get it real. So let's come with that, and that's where you come from. I said, and then you'll be able to create any kind of thing. And that's what method acting is. You base it on your sensibilities, and then you layer it into what can become a character when you get creative, and you tell the truth. James Cagney said it many years ago. They asked him, they said, Mr. Cagney, you're a great actor, and what is your technique to act? And he says, I don't know if I have a technique. He says, all I know is I plant my feet, I look the other guy straight in the eyes, and I tell him the truth. And that's deep enough there. You just give up because he gives up the real. It's that simple. So I try to share that with actors and not trip on me so much.
Yeah. And piggybacking off of what Barry stated about the all the many films and TV shows you've been in, and your portfolio is extensive. What keeps you motivated and keeps you pushing forward to continue into your craft and cultivate your craft and make you not say I'm done?
No, I like to eat regular like anybody else. I love it, man. I'm into it. There's no quitting. I was talking about this with recent friends with Glenn Turman and stuff like that. And Glenn is so cool. Glenn is real laid back. He's like, yeah, baby, man, we ain't quitting. I said, you're right. But I love it. I love being able to discover new things now that I'm getting a lot more into directing and I've been writing. I'm about to do some projects. I love to make it happen. You come up with an idea and you make it come real, or whatever you want to call it, fruition, into a reality, and you get people to perform it, and you see what they can bring to it, and it's just beyond flowers, man. You're getting bouquets. So it's always exciting trying to figure it out how to tell it. Last night, even working with Tyrese and I on this thing. I won't give it away because he wants to be secretive about it, but it's a true thing. And at the end of this thing he was doing, we didn't. This was not the script, but he's playing a performer. He's come off the stage, and I play his manager, who's ruthless, but at the same time, I really care for him. Like, I'm trying to get him there, and he just fell into my chest from being exhausted. We just did it, and we hugged each other, and we got emotional, and he was crying, and I almost went for it. And I was like, wow. So it's two strong Black men who ain't afraid to be the truth.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
you want to get on film. You want to
Yeah.
get those kind of special moments. So we got a couple of them. We got lucky.
Yeah.
Mm.
You mentioned earlier the dinner with Denzel and Ryan Coogler, and I've been a fan of Coogler since Fruitvale Station.
Oh,
So
of course, yeah.
I know there's like a huge demand from fans to
Yeah.
see directors of color helm projects, and this is like 50 years after Cooley High, and you got Michael Schultz, and I think you mentioned Grease Lightning earlier too.
Sure. That's
So
Michael's movie.
yeah, so did you have any idea at the time that Cooley High would be like you were part of like building the culture, like it was
Okay, yeah.
You never know that, and we should never even be concerned with that as a
Yeah.
point. It's nice if it happens and it's fantastic,
Mm-hmm.
but no, in Cooley High, we're happy to have a gig, and I mean, I was, 21 and it was paying me 900 a week. I never made that much money in my life. I thought I was a millionaire, and and it's the first time I met Glenn I don't ask me why I remember all the dates. It was August 17th, a Tuesday in Chicago, and Glenn was all smiling as he always does. And we were just an instant hit. I had done Claudine just before that, and then Cooley High, and went right into Welcome Back, Kotter. And in those days, movies would stay in the movie theaters 2 or 3 years, so they were all out at the same time.
Wow.
So
and home media wasn't out yet, right?
huh?
Home
Home video.
like VHS wasn't out.
We didn't have no VHS. We didn't have cell phones. We barely had calculators, man.
If you don't see it in the theaters, it's around.
People were still using bus passes to get on the bus, man. There was no Metro Pass and no credit cards.
Yeah.
We were close to the Flintstones, man.
That's amazing, man.
But in those times, people, you really have to go out to get the information. You have to really watch the newspapers or the television shows. You have to talk to one another. So it was more of a sense of community that was just part of the everyday living. That's the culture we came up in the time of Cooley High and those kind of things. But what they became, I was doing Welcome Back, Kotter in Los Angeles, and we were shooting for the first 5 episodes. And Cooley High had opened in New York, and I had no idea it was a hit. And my friend, my good old buddy Machiste Quintana, called me from New York, man, who I came up with in high school. And he says, man, this movie is right, man. I'll send you the reviews and all that. And back then, the new reviews used to be in the newspapers. He sent me all these black and white. I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Then I went back on the premiere of Kotter. Here we go again, September 9th, Tuesday, 1975. I remember the dates. And everybody knew me all of a sudden. It was weird.
Yeah.
I was walking down the street, they were pulling at me, and I was like, oh, you the guy, man, you must owe me some money, brother. You should know you. And so it was overwhelming and exciting and weird. And you never really get used to it, but you find a way to handle it. I mean, I've never been rude or nasty to anybody. Although I got a couple of tough guys try to come up, step to me. I'm like, man, come on, step off, man. In that bull crap, get out of here. Because they're trying to be tough. It ain't about that. And if you want to, then I'm still a Negro from the project. If that's what you want to do. But no, it's really not that. And that's it. It's the work is, of course, resident and amazing, and the effects of what it becomes is an experience. It's like riding a wave. You're just like, oh my God, I got a good one. It is overwhelming, Even they're going to do 2 things. They're going to do a couple of screens of the 50th anniversary of Claudine. One is going to happen next week in Los Angeles, and October is going to be up at the Apollo Theater, and they're getting some of the old cast members together. That's going to be iconic. I only wish we could have done it while Diane was still with us. That would have been great. But I'm going to try to get her daughter Suzanne to come, and I'm looking forward to that, to just sitting around and bringing back the wonderful memories of doing that movie. And it was my first movie, and I was a kid, barely out of school a year and a half, and here I got this movie. Holy smoke, it was pretty amazing times. So you never know. You never know what's going to.
If you had 4 movies or TV sitcoms, either or, it could be a mix, to describe your path of your career, to help develop you, what would be your 4 roles or movies that you would say, okay, these four are this is who I am?
It's pretty easy. It's obviously Claudine and then Cooley High. There's certain some flavors of Welcome Back Kotter through those times, and the Jacksons, An American Dream. You know, when I got the Jacksons and I saw that, and I saw, first of all, the phone books, the script was the size of a phone book. I mean, it was like, Jesus Christ, all these lines, you know. But I saw the levels. I was like, oh wow, man. And I had the same realization when I did Claudine, and I saw it at the time. The blaxploitation film thing was really big still, you know, and it had not waned yet for a few years. And when I got the part of Claudine, I said, well, this is not those kind of. This is a straight up story. Got to wake up, Larry, you know, and go for it. And Cooley High happened to come along the year later. And so I realized what, you know, gift was given to me, this jewel, and got into it. And we just got sincere, had a lot of fun, you know, with it, of course, and enjoyed the ride, you know. You know, I remember years ago the brother, Dismon Hemsu was up for an Academy Award, and I ran into him, and I said, "Man, my brother, right on to you. Oh, thank you, Lawrence, and all that." I said, "How you feel?" And he said it, you know, what is that? He says, "Oh, I'm just enjoying the ride," and I got that, man. You know, it's really cool, man.
Yeah.
So yeah. Mhm.
That's good. I mean, because those four roles again, and these are again iconic movies, iconic roles for yourself, and like you said,
They're
those are the
stepping
ones that
stones.
help.
You're like,
Yeah.
sometimes when I look at Claudine, I said, "Well, Claudine was Joe Jackson as a kid to me." that was that film.
A prequel.
And then Cooley High came, which, you know, was another side of being more fun and loose. And
Cooley
Welcome
High.
Back Kotter, we was just insane. I was having a ball being nuts and getting paid for it. And by the
Mhm.
time the Jacksons came, it brought all those energies together. I mean, I was 38 at the time. Those other movies,
Yeah.
those are the things I did. I was 20 and 21. But you know, it had all the developments of what I've known and what I learned and what I could bring forth, and had the freedom or found the guts, you know, to allow those things to happen. Because the Jacksons movie is multi-layered, man. And,
Yeah.
and I was not gonna be silly about that at all. I said,
Yeah.
wow, me? Right on, you know, let me go to work here. And the kids in that movie, they were mind-boggling, because for the first 3 days we was filming, Angela was finishing another movie called Innocent or something like that, Innocent Blood or something, some vampire movie. So she was on the set, but I was already with the kids. And when she came in 3 days later, I said, "We're gonna have to wake up these babies and play it." Because they was bringing it,
Yeah.
you know.
Everybody came to play.
Everybody came hard. And until this day, I'm still close with Angel Vargas, who played Tito as an adult. He still calls me dad. Alex Durrell played a little Michael, is 41 now with an 11-year-old, but he's like my son, and I love his daughter Tara to the max. I love that little girl, you know, and so we're lucky, you know, but we can still attain like that with each other.
That's amazing.
Nice things came out, nice gifts. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, you're represented by one of the baddest, most talented publicists, friend of our show, Desiree
I know
Benson.
what you're talking about, man. What's her name?
Oh man, we're gonna call it Desiree. I think is it Desiree?
Yeah. You know something, man, I gave her a name when I met her, and she was talking about, we were talking home cooked food. So I made some some homemade chili, and I got it to her the next day before she went there, and she scarfed that bad boy up. So now her name is, you know, Lee Benson Brockington, but I call her Chili BB. That's my name. So that's my name for her.
And she, you know, she's a you know, family to the show, not just a friend. She's family to the show, and you know, she's worked with us on numerous occasions. We are very grateful for her. You have upcoming projects. You have a lot of things up, you know, coming up. Can you discuss some of the things that you have coming up for the audience?
You know, it's been busy lately, which is nice. You know, for a minute it got lulled up because of the Screen Actors Guild strike.
Yeah.
A couple of people were mad at me because I was working during the strike. People still giving me gigs here and there, you know, bouncing around. I went down to Atlanta, did a movie called Family Portrait. I did a show that I forgot even did it, called Mind Your Business. It just came out a couple of weeks ago. One of my brothers said, "You're on Mind Your Business." I said, "What are you talking about?"
That's a
Oh,
good
wow.
problem to have.
Yeah.
So much you forget.
Did that. I just finished doing a short film with Tyrese Gibson. You know, we just finished shooting that by midnight last night. I have another short film called The Devil Ain't Pirates, which is going to be it's in the festivals right now. But on my own, I'm going to be directing some movies. We're going to do 3 different movies. One is called Family, which is a family intense drama. And one is called Panic, which is a horror film. And there's one called Max, which is about a man who starts to go through senility and how it affects him. And we're going to do these films almost back to back. I wrote them all. I'm going to direct them all. put my boy Glenn Turman in 2 of them.
Oh,
He's
that's
better,
Okay.
you know, and
Good old Colonel Taylor.
yeah, so he's gonna be busy. You know, I'm not gonna sleep much, but you know, that's how that rolls. And still have life, you know.
now that's
So there you
amazing.
go.
I like to see it. That's very inspiring to hear the role that me and Bill kind of recognized you from first. You were 38. And for most
Yeah.
career paths, that's typically where it starts to slow down, but you kept your foot on the gas. And the fact that you still have amazing projects still coming out and you're connected with everyone from every project.
Let
I
me add
feel
to
like,
that. It's a choice, you know, because you know, work we have to make work happen. And we have to create ourselves, you know. Complaining is a waste. Just last week they had a tribute to Robert Townsend, who's my friend since Cooley High. You know, and that was wonderful. And then the next day we talked on the phone. You know, he was on his way to a set and he gave me a call and we was yapping about kids and all that stuff. But we both said this almost simultaneously. We said, you know, there's no complaining because it
Yeah.
serves no purpose.
Yeah.
You know, we know the
Yeah.
game. You have to go, you're always chasing the star, the money, whatever you're trying to get to. So you have to make I don't know if it's a decision. You have to say you're in it to win it, you know, for the duration of it all. So that's my take of it. But you have to make the work happen, you know. Now I've been able to work quite a lot and things like that. And people think of me and call me. That's what Tyrese did, you know, out of nowhere. Hey man, I'm like, all right. You know, it's that kind of a but there's no quitting, man, you know,
Yeah.
and taking no for an answer. No to means you're just not in a position to get yes. So let's change that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in a position anyway if you don't push, you know, the fold a little bit. So why not push it?
Yeah.
I love it. It's been unintentional, but I think you served a master class just on the skill, the drive, putting in the work. So I think this works whatever industry you're in. I feel like it speaks volume just going out there and get it. So we appreciate you, Mr. Jacobs.
I appreciate that. Thank you. You know, it's a life lesson of life, man. And if you know what we want to, I say this to people, and I mean this as simple as it is. We have to be honest because it starts with us and our truth, and we have to bounce from that. Whatever we have kids, we have life, we have to do our jobs, or you know, we don't know if we're gonna make the rent. These are hard realities sometimes that we have to deal with, but we got to come with how we can handle it from our truth. That's life. That's how we raise the babies. You know, we try. You know, we want them to be golden. We'll love them at the same time. We don't want them to be knuckleheads, but you know, we want to know that they can step up if they put in the effort, and you can win. You only lose because you decide to lose. You know, you know, quitters don't win. So it's just simple, man.
That's awesome. We want to thank you for joining us, Mr. Jacobs. We just lasted 12 rounds with the champion.
Yeah.
How you guys feel?
Hey, feel pretty good. A little rope dope there, but you know.
Mr. Jacobs, tell the people where they can find you on social media.
You know something, I'm on there. I'm the worst at it, but I'm on Instagram. They have me down as a LHJ man, and I'm on Facebook, and I'm probably on America's Most Wanted. Who knows? I'm probably
man.
You know, there it is.
Nah, love it. I'm definitely gonna keep up with everything that you got going on. I want to see what the eye looks like, so I want to monitor the directing. I'm a movie buff, so let's make sure we stay in contact.
You got it,
Ladies
man.
and gentlemen, who would you like to see on the show next? We just interviewed a legend. Me and
Legend
Bill
in the game.
were
Legend.
starstruck, but we made it through this interview. So we do thank him for coming. If there's anyone else that you guys want to see, and I know Mr. Jacobs actually mentioned a couple of names I would like to have on the show, but Bill, what's something that the fans could do?
Hey, make sure you go to our comment section. We call it My 2 Cents, and leave your comment. Ask Mr. Jacobs anything that you have in mind. And you know, we'll make sure that he get those questions answered.
Give him a reason to make sure he's attentive on social media.
There we go.
Make me count.
And then, Bill, what's another thing they could do to show support?
Hey, show support. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell so that when we drop any new content, you're instantly notified. And don't forget to share.
There you go, man. Yeah.
This concludes another episode of Unanimous Decision. Thank you guys for tuning in to And in This Corner.
Yeah.